This is a really important topic today, and I really appreciate the chairman talking about this today. You know, we want to ensure that every child in America has the opportunity for a great education. And that can be a public school. There are great public schools. There are bad public schools. It can be a charter school. There are good and bad charter schools. It can be private schools, whatever it may be. And every policy regarding education that we're considering ought to look at supporting quality schools no matter where that occurs. I was the chairman of the Education Committee in Pennsylvania. Ms. Sedler, I so much appreciate your work to ensure that every child does have that access in Pennsylvania. And we worked on these policies. I'm proud of what we've done in Pennsylvania, the EITC, and I agree with you. It's not enough. We should be doing more. Ms. Varma, your story, education, very important to me as well. And I have a family of 12 kids. I have 11 siblings, as you do, so we have that in common. But education, very, very critical. And I just want to make a few points. One is the chairman's bill on 529s, expanding them to career tech, very, very important. We ought to be doing that. And then Mr. Smith, Adrian Smith's bill that provides a federal tax credit for K through 12 is important as well. And I talk about in Pennsylvania, you know, we have a lot of really great institutions of higher education, colleges, universities, everything, you know, all types of colleges and universities. And it's a perfect example of why choice works and how it works. Parents decide what is best for their child based on what the child wants to do, chooses the school that works best for them. And we ought to be applying that in K through 12 as well. And this is what Adrian Smith's bill does. It's very, very important. Then I want to talk a little bit about workforce development. And I've had a similar bill to Adrian's. It also included a workforce development piece. It would create a federal tax credit for workforce development. So just like the EITC program in Pennsylvania, a company decides or an individual decides to contribute to career technical schools, apprenticeship programs, and so on, they receive a tax credit for doing so. I think it's really, really important we do that. I was a business owner myself for a number of years, understand today that every business is looking for people. And by the way, it's really important. We're in a bad fiscal trajectory in the country. I spend time thinking about this. It's really important we get our economy growing. We need workers to do that. I do want to, really quick question. Mr. Redmond, do you know how much we spend in the U.S. annually on traditional higher education on four-year degrees?
I do not have the answer to that.
$197 billion. Do you know how much we spend on programs that help support federal workforce programs and career education, techno education programs?
No, sir.
About $4 billion annually on WIOA and $1.4 billion in federal support. Think about that. $5.4 billion for career and technical compared to $197 billion for four-year degrees. Now, I wouldn't discourage a four-year degree. It's important. But think about the need to reconfigure and rebalance where we place our priorities. So I think it's really important to do this. I have a bill today as well that would create a tax credit. And I think you know, when you look at the disparity in where we're putting our focus and our federal dollars, taxpayer dollars, as you had mentioned, it's really important that we pass something like this as well. So thank you to each of you for being here today. Your stories are amazing and compelling. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.